up, y'all? It's your girl Danielle, and welcome back to the Healthy Her and Wealthy Her podcast, where we talk about motherhood, life, spirituality, and everything in between. Listen, we have new episodes every Monday and Wednesday, and you do not want to miss what we have going on. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at the Healthy Her and Wealthy Her podcast. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you want to hear us talk about next. Let's get into the episode. We've all heard of mothers who have told their children, I gave up everything for you. I did everything for you. I sacrificed my life for you. I sacrificed everything for you. And I've always wondered why. I've always wondered why mothers had to sacrifice everything for their children, down to the point where they had this sense of resentment for their children when they got older, when they no longer needed them, or when they made decisions that they didn't necessarily agree with. I was watching the Beyonce movie, Renaissance, a couple of weeks ago, and she highlighted how her daughter was on tour with her, how all of her children were on tour with her. But Blue Ivy in particular was on stage with her. And she was talking about how Blue Ivy had came to her and said, Mommy, this is what I want to do. I feel like I'm ready. And she was very hesitant because she didn't want her daughter to be exposed to, the criticism. And she just knew what came with fame, right? She knew what she was going to be opening her daughter up to. And she told her daughter, okay, well, if you work hard and you show that you're committed, you show that you're dedicated, you can do one show. And so she let her daughter do one show. And I thought she did great, especially for being, however old she is. I think she's 11. I thought she did really great. And then Beyonce said that she saw the comments, and her daughter got a hold of the comments, and the comments were saying she looks like she doesn't even want to be up there, and they just weren't good comments, which, side note, why are we talking bad about an 11-year-old who's dancing in front of thousands and thousands of people? Neither here nor there. We'll address that later. But she talked about how she thought that it was going to break her daughter and how she just felt bad that, it's one thing when she sees that it happens to her as a superstar, but it's another thing when you're watching it happen to your child. But she said it awakened something different in Blue Ivy. It awakened her desire to work harder and to do better. And then she ended up doing several different shows because she was working so hard to get better. And I want to say that it is so important for our children to see us going after our dreams, to see us overcoming things and, just becoming the best version of ourselves and just doing the things that make us happy, because we really are the blueprint. I am a firm believer that Blue Ivy would not have been able to do what she did at her age and at her level if she did not see her mother doing that, if she was not nurtured and exposed to seeing her mother overcome the same things that she was facing. And the same is true for us. And I don't want to say us commoners, because we ain't common. Beyonce's a whole human being out here in the street. She's a mother just like we are. She even said in her video, when I come off the stage, they don't care that I just, was dancing for 3 hours. They want their mama and they want their chicken nuggets and they want it now. And she's just a woman who's going after her dreams. She's just a woman who is wildly successful, who's in the eye of the world and has been raised to superstardom. But she is just a woman. She is just a person. And I feel like as women, we can learn a lot from any woman who is out there going after their dreams and bringing their children along with them. My daughter, not too long ago, she sang on stage for the first time by herself ever. Now, my daughter is 7, and she has watched me sing on stage at church. I do praise and worship. She has seen me sing on stage since she was 2 years old. For the past 5 years, my daughter has seen me going after my dreams. Anytime I was going to a business meeting and it was just me and her, I took her with me. Like, my daughter has seen me moving and shaking. And even though she may not always realize what she's seeing, she's still seeing and experiencing what she's experiencing. She's seeing mommy get up there, work hard, mess up, get better, and do it all over again every single time. She's watching me study, praise and worship to see how I can do better, how I can sound better. She's watching me, diligently work on my craft when it comes to this podcast, or when it comes to just being a better woman and really just building a life for myself outside of her. And what does that do to a child? What does that say to a child? That says that you can be a mother, you can even be a wife, and you can still have your own life. Sometimes as women, we're told that we have to choose, that we can't have everything, and we can't go after our dreams and be a good wife and be a good entrepreneur and be a good, corporate baddie, or whatever, insert whatever title it is that you desire to have. But that's just not true. I don't think that that's true. Do I think that we need to find balance? Absolutely. Do I think it's easy? Absolutely not. But I feel like if we set up our life in a way to where we have systems and processes and routines in place that support us, and we have a good support team, a good support system that can support us and help us, we can do anything we put our minds to. And it's really important for our children to see, especially their mother, especially girl children. I have a daughter, so I can really only speak from the perspective of a mother raising a little girl. I want my daughter to see me going after my dreams. I want my daughter to see me advancing and becoming the woman that I say I'm going to become, and becoming better and building a life for myself outside of her. Because when she grows older, she's very into having children. She's very clear that she wants to be a mom. I want her to know that when she gets older, I have shown her what it looks like to have a life outside of your children, to have a life outside of your home, while still taking care of your children, taking care of your home, and taking care of your community. So I know y'all are enjoying today's episode, but we have to get into our sponsor for today. And today our sponsor is Pretty Brown and Poppin', and it is owned by yours truly. Yes, your girl Danielle is a lifestyle transformation strategist, and I help women just like you rediscover their truest, most best versions of themselves. Listen, I created several different workbooks that help you become the best version of yourself and reclaim the woman that you were always supposed to be. Through my own journey, I realized that healing takes a lot of effort, and a lot of it is guessing. What am I supposed to be doing? What am I supposed to be changing? What am I supposed to be addressing? Why is this an issue? And I have created several different workbooks, like the Becoming Her Again workbook, to take the guesswork out of it. Listen, this is a powerful workbook. I created a 5-step process that is going to help you reclaim yourself and never lose her again. The only thing missing from your spiritual journey, from your healing journey, and from your life right now to make it easier to reclaim the best version of yourself is this workbook. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Pretty Brown and Poppin'. Also, you can visit my website. It's prettybrownandpoppin.square.site. That's SITE. You can use the code GOALCRUSHER and save 10% today. Let's get back into the episode. We're the blueprint. We're the blueprint for our children. What they see us do and what they see us overcome and what they see us accomplish and establish is a direct reflection of what they are going to see themselves being able to do. And so if we limit ourselves and we, create a child-centered life to where our child needs always come before our own, it's not only going to limit them, it's going to limit us. It's going to limit us. And I will tell you, there are seasons in your life where your child should be the center of your universe, because there are times where your child needs more from you than you should be able to give yourself. And I think that that's okay. But it's for a season. Your life shouldn't be solely wrapped around your child, because that child is going to grow up. That child is going to move out. That child is going to be like, I don't need you. They're going to ditch you for their friends. And if you dedicate your entire life, every minute of every day, to caring for that child, that empty nest syndrome, that resentment that you're going to feel, it's naturally going to breed. It's naturally going to grow, because the person that you poured so much into no longer needs you. They no longer need you in the way that they have needed you in the past. And that's going to hurt, especially when you look up and they're in their 20s, off to college, barely call you because they have their own stuff going on and they have their own life outside of you that you helped them establish. And you're not going to have anything for yourself. Who wouldn't be resentful? If you had to sacrifice everything for your child, who wouldn't be resentful? And don't get me wrong, when I left my military career, one of the reasons why I left was because I wanted to be in my child's life more. And I knew that if I had stayed in the military, there were going to be extended periods of time where I was going to be away from her. And I was not okay with that. That was not something that I wanted for my life or for her, because being active in my daughter's life is very important to me. And I'm sure the same is true for you. Being active is important. And so I had to do away with a career that was going to take me away from her. But I also was ready to leave. I was ready to be done with the military. I was ready to go. I was like, I'm out. Deuces, I'm out. And so it didn't hurt very much, but I knew that when I left, I still had to establish something for myself. And I tried to make my life revolve around my daughter. And at the time I was married, and I wanted my life to really revolve around my family and my community. But that was also unhealthy because they didn't need me in the way that I thought that they needed me. And if they did, they weren't going to be able to, one, fulfill my needs, number one, because it's not their responsibility. And two, they weren't going to need me in the same way forever. And so I realized that it was very, very, very important to establish a life outside of my children. Now, a mother's resentment is a resentment that is unlike any other. And a mother's sacrifice is something that is unlike any other. A mother loves her children unconditionally. And this ain't for every mama, but this for most mamas. If you're listening to this podcast, this is you, okay? But, a mother will go to the ends of the earth for their children. You mess with my cub, baby, I'm coming for you, okay? And there's really no limits to what a mother will do for their child. And I think that that's so beautiful and that's so sacred. But I also believe that there need to be some limits that we set on ourselves as mothers, because we are women. We're people. We're not just mothers. We are women who have wants, needs, and desires, and we have dreams, we have goals, we have visions, and we have purpose. Being a mother is a part of our overall life. It's a part of our overall mission, but it is not the only mission that God has given us. For some women, they don't see themselves outside of their children or outside of their husbands or their family. And that's okay, because maybe it's your purpose to raise a healthy, happy home, and that's it. And then your ability to do that is what brings light to the world. And maybe that's your purpose. For me, that wasn't it. It was my responsibility and my purpose. It is my responsibility and my purpose to raise a healthy, happy home and be healthy and happy by myself. It's important for me to create a legacy for my children and for my family in general, because my daughter is meant to do something greater than me. And if I don't establish what I'm supposed to establish for her now, she will be behind. She will have to work even harder than I had to work in order to become the woman that she's supposed to become, and in order to, become the person in society that she's supposed to become. We're all a part of a greater purpose. And if we limit ourselves to one purpose and one purpose only, and we don't go after what else it is that we want, our souls and our spirits will begin to feel restricted and constricted. If you know anything about me, baby, I don't like being put in a box. I live outside the box. And I think it's important to understand that you shouldn't have to box yourself in. Unless you feel like this is like, no, this is where God has me, and this is what I'm supposed to be focusing on for the rest of my life, then by all means do that. But I want you to think about your own goals, your own dreams. What is it that you want to establish? And what type of legacy do you want to leave for your children? You know, I'm a single mother, and one day I plan on being married again because it's important for me to be loved. It's important for me to be cared for and loved on. And, you know, I take such great care of everybody else. But it's also important for my daughter to see what it's like to live in a healthy, happy household with two parents who work together, who love each other, and who love her, and are on one accord, who are equally yoked, who have very similar visions, and who are partners. Because if I want my child to grow up to be ambitious and be a businesswoman and to go after her dreams, but also be a wife, a mother, if that's what she should choose to be, then it's my responsibility to show her how to do that. I can't say, well, I'm not going to date because I'm going to pour everything into my daughter. No. Because that's showing her how to live an unbalanced life. And even if she grows up to decide, you know, I don't really want to get married, I don't want to be a mother, she at least knows what it looks like in case she decides to. So I want to encourage you to think about, what blueprint do you want to leave your children? What life do you want to live? And when your children leave, because they will leave at some point, when nobody else needs you, what do you want to have established for yourself? What do you need to feel fulfilled and successful and happy, where you can look around and just be very proud of what you have accomplished and what you have established? What do you want your children to have at the age of 20, 25, and 30 that you established for them? What do you want to see for your children? And become that blueprint. Become that woman that shows them, baby, this is possible, honey. This is possible. You can do anything you put your mind to. But before your children realize that they can do anything that they put their mind to, you have to become a woman who knows that they can do anything that they put their mind to. Your goals, your needs, your desires are important. They are important. Your ambition wasn't given to you to just fall by the wayside. No. God gave that to you because he has a purpose in your heart. And it's a characteristic of yours that can be nurtured, that can be balanced. And like I said, there will be times where your children will come first for a season. But then things will need to be recalibrated, and you'll know when it's time to transition and recalibrate, so that you can get back to you, so that you can get back to taking care of what it is that you need and what it is that you want. Think about the legacy that you want to leave, and become the woman who leaves the legacy that you want to leave. Thank you for tuning into today's episode. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to share with another extraordinary woman in your life. Also, make sure that you're following us on Instagram at the Healthy Her and Wealthy Her podcast. Until next time.